I sat down with a man who was a Republican, very conservative, lifelong. I was told he's a brother of a friend. And when we went to visit, I was told by both his sister and my wife, do not talk politics. But I really love this man and he loves me. And so I thought, if it comes up, I didn't bring it up, but somehow the topic of what's going on in our world today came up. And I said, the sad thing is, for me, I think the people on both sides of this story have the same exact dreams. They want a government that serves its people well. They want it to be honest. They'd like to have it be efficient and effective. They'd like to have it really focusing on clarifying what the needs of the people are, that the federal government really is the best entity to deal with. We all want the same thing. We also want freedom. We want liberty. We want to be able to vote and have a say in what happens. And where we're getting messed up is we're debating we're doing two things. One, instead of talking about what we want and how we prefer to have it happen, we're ending up calling each other names and categorizing each other. That person's a jackass. This person's an idiot. That person, is so impractical and they're a daydream or they're a dreamer, whatever. Calling names and labeling, that just makes other people really unhappy. And then, of course, we're all not that mature. We don't want to go fight right back. So I just said to him, I think if we could just talk about how we love to see things go and then talk about sort of the methodologies, but do it in a way where I'm not judging you and you're not judging me. I'm coming from a place of curiosity. I want to understand why those things make the best sense to you. And I'd like to have you be curious about me. We've forgotten how to have this kind of a conversation and how powerful it is. The two of us, when we spent a couple of hours and we were so proud of ourselves at the end of how far we went. And we had a lot of things that we agreed on the sort of like, he liked a certain Democratic governor. I liked a certain Republican governor. We found we had a lot of things that I wouldn't have guessed. And I found, wow, he's open to a lot more. But I think what happens is people want to do competition and they want to do jousting right now. So the idea of being able to come on here and kind of sound this note that we all operate from the same deep values. It doesn't matter what country we're in, how we're shaped or whatever. There are just certain basic needs that every human being has. Where we get into trouble is if we believe our methods are the right and we want to be strident about that instead of, finding out that's my goal, that's your goal. How can we work this out? But today we've just kind of forgotten how to sit down and have that conversation. I'm afraid to sit down with some of my dear Republican friends and try to have the conversation because I don't know if it'll get rocky. I really don't know. I don't know what their endurance is for discomfort. I don't know if they're as afraid as I am. So it's really sad because I have some people that we have a very dear connection. And I'd like to be able to understand where they're coming from. I don't know how to get there, except the kind of thing I was able to do this one fellow. So yeah, I'm just kind of wanting to give people an idea to think about. Is the name calling, the ostracizing, the disowning, is that getting you to a place that you're enjoying? Mm-hmm. And it's not getting us to a place we're enjoying. So can we back up and instead of immediately assuming that because you have an R at the beginning of your political party and you have a D, that means blah. Can we back up and just try to get connected up as people and respectfully be curious? Because I believe we need both parties to really have that the best functioning country. It would be, I think, a big mistake. We're not mature enough to have just one party in charge, but each group brings different strengths and wisdoms and perspectives and whatever. So I want to have everybody working together. And the tragedy is right now, there's a very large swath of people that have decided that the best way for them to take care of their country and themselves is to characterize the other side and attack it, and and all of that, and it's just not getting us in a very good place. So I don't know how long we're going to have to go through this kind of behavior, but mankind over the long run has done a pretty good job, a very faltering job, but a pretty good job of evolving. And frankly, I think that this whole mode that we're in right now is not one that's going to work in the longer run. And we're going to realize we have to outgrow it. So where's my soapbox? I have to get off that.